Hi, and welcome to Talks with Shay. So today I would like to begin with reading from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 and 10. And it says, "And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distress for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong." So today, for part 2 of Me, Myself, and I would like to talk to you about your weaknesses. So when I'm talking about your weaknesses, I'm talking about yours, I'm talking about mine, I'm talking about ours. We all have them, right? We don't always like to, I guess, say them and acknowledge them, but one of the things is if we want to be honest with ourselves, we all have certain weaknesses in our lives. I think a lot of times we want to do what's best, not a lot of times, majority of the time or most of the time, we do want to do what is best and what is right and try to think that we can do everything, but the reality is we just can't. We not built that way, y'all. We can't do everything. One of the things we just really need to focus on is our weaknesses in reference to recognizing what areas we need help in. When I think about just even my weaknesses and different things that I'm not good at, for example, I think I'm a good communicator, right? Most people honestly think they are good communicators. So, I was watching this little thing or whatever episode the other day, and it literally was multiple people kept saying they were good communicators, they were good communicators, they were good communicators. And I'm thinking to myself, the two people that were actually talking, one was a good communicator and the other one was not. And so I think sometimes our intentions are that we want to be good at something, and then sometimes we're really not that good at it. When I was just looking at this episode and thinking about it, and I was like, okay, he's a good communicator, but ma'am, you're not. But her intentions is, but again, if we even think about it like as far as our definition, right? Our definition of what a good communicator is. So that makes the ultimate difference. In her eyes, she's a good communicator. In mine, she was not, and so it's like, it always depends on how we view things, right? So a lot of times we have to make sure that we possibly, something that we think we're good at, ask somebody else their opinion about you in that certain area. What we're not good at is almost like God will put people in our lives to help balance us out. So what we're not good at, they are strong in. And so when I think about, like last week, we talked about your strengths. Today we're talking about your weaknesses. We all are made up differently. God created each one of us individually different. It's important for us to get to know who we are. We cannot be healthy individual, I guess I would say, if we don't even recognize the things that we're not actually good at. We will get to a place of being in denial with things we cannot do by thinking that we can accomplish those things. Like for me, the other day I was sharing with somebody about possibly, keeping myself available for maybe more job opportunities to make more money and different things like that. And I was like, one of the things I can honestly say is that I'm not good at is my writing skills, right? So I'm not going to try to find a job where I have to do a lot of writing because I know that is a weakness of mine. But I'm aware of that, right? And it's okay. I think a lot of times we think of our weaknesses as making us look like maybe a bad person or maybe not capable of doing certain things. Yeah, that might be my weakness, but it doesn't mean that I can't be good at it, if that makes sense. You know, if I find a job, say another job, I like where I'm at, don't misunderstand, just talking, guys. And now the role that I'm having to do what's called a home study, and it's a lot of writing. And I don't look forward to doing it because I know that is an area that like I'm not good at. So for example, whenever I started my job originally with this company, I was a recruiter, recruiting therapeutic foster parents and stuff like that. And that was one of the things I had to do then, and I'm back doing it now again, which is home studies. It's very in depth. It's like a lot of pages long, like probably like 5 pages long of just writing and stuff like that. And originally I can remember feeling so defeated, right? When I first started this job, because I was like, I knew my writing skills was not good, and every person writes totally different. I've gotten a lot better at it because I had to do it, but a lot of times I will write like I talk, right? And so that's not proper grammar or proper English, either one. So it's like I felt defeated in doing those things. And I guess even back at that role now, it almost makes me feel a little imitated. I can't even talk, y'all. It makes me feel intimidated by it because of the simple fact that I know I'm having to do something I'm not that confident in, and I know it's a weakness of mine. But sometimes we ain't got no choice. We have to push through and do it anyway. And if we're not careful, when people are giving us like the criticism of it, like somebody always have to read over it, have to go back, make the corrections and things like that. So it's very helpful because it's a teaching moment for me, and it helps me get better with my writing. But my point is this: if I'm not aware of that, and that, okay, this is something I'm not good at, I can continue to feel defeated like I used to. But I don't anymore, right? Because I see the growth within my writing, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna only help me to get better in that area I'm not that good at. So being mindful of what you're not good at is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because you can recognize it, ask for the help that you need, and if you recognize that it's a weakness of yours, one of the things about the benefits of recognizing what you're weak at is that you can look back and not feel defeated. You can look at that situation and say, you know what? It's okay. I'm not good at that, and it's okay. But there's other things that I'm good at. We cannot be good at everything, y'all. We can't. God never created us to be good at everything. We have strengths and we have weaknesses. But when we look at our weaknesses, we don't have to look at them as if we are defeated, because we're not. We're not defeated by our weaknesses, and we are not defined by our weaknesses. But acknowledging those things will help us to grow within ourselves. And that's what we ultimately all should be striving, is for growth. So don't look at the things you're not good at and that you're weak at as like you're a failure, because you have not. You have not failed. It's just something that God didn't put as a strength for you. And it's okay. We all have those weaknesses. But like I said, recognize what they are so you're not feeling like you're defeated. And so it's not so hard to accept the criticism if you're recognizing that, you know what, this is not one of my strong areas. And then say to yourself, but it's okay. So before I go, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube and find me on Facebook. Like my page, share my page, invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all stay blessed.